Hey there, fans of brotherly love wrestling. It is I, Vik Dalishus,
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D.X. Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City.
Hey there, brotherly love wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling this, pro wrestling that.
Which is not that unique in the grand scheme of things yet.
You are in for a treat because you're tuned in to Brotherly Love Wrestling.
Philadelphia, are you ready?
No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome everybody to Brotherly Love Wrestling post-WrestleMania show, and we couldn't do a show like this without our favorite tag team, the now Hale Collins, Vik Dalishus of ACW. Guys, good to see you again.
Hey, podcasters.
So guys, look, ACW's coming up. We are less than a month away now. We have all the matches.
Where's Joe's
announced.
ACW shirt?
I know, right?
Couldn't friggin' find any of my shirts, and some of them don't fit anymore because life.
Too many Philly cheesesteaks?
No, I think last night was way too much of just everything.
What, you had like a feast?
Well, I had Easter feast, and I ate too much pineapple stuffing, and then I came over to Larry's, ate 4 giant cookies, some mozzarella sticks. It's not good. Not good at all. Gotta keep my figure. What'd you say, Vic?
What's pineapple stuffing? That sounds amazing.
So it's a stuffing concoction. It's soft like stuffing, but it's all like pineapple and a little bit of
it's basically crushed up pineapple, cinnamon, bread, and a shitload of butter.
Yeah.
And baked, and it's real soft. It's like a dessert stuffing. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's a dessert.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did pineapple like for part of my ham like recipe.
Yeah, that's the normal way to do it, I think. Like you had the circles on there.
Yeah, and the pineapple juice, I add more to that too. Yeah, it's good.
The stuffing is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Pineapple stuffing is legit.
Yeah, now your shirts don't fit.
I mean, sometimes you got to take one for the team, and the team is
me. A brand new Now shirt available at ProWrestlingTees.com.
Yeah. Cheap plug.
Cheapest.
I just did it.
All right, so guys, we have the card fully announced. We can go over a couple and then we'll skip around. So obviously, last time that I think that Joe and Hale were on, the
most important episode that we've ever run in show history.
You guys talked about the cage match between you guys and Sent to Slaughter. And obviously, for taking the next step, obviously the first one was the tables match in January. Now you're stepping up into the cage match, which we didn't think you'd get more violent, but you're obviously going to get more violent in the cage, but there's nowhere to go. Just you 4 locked in the cage.
Or is it an escapable cage?
Well, I think there's a door on it.
Okay. Yeah.
And there is no room. You can escape.
And that's the way to win. Is there a pinfall and escape or just escape?
I don't believe pinfall. It's just escape.
Okay.
Yeah. But, just want to let you guys know that we did think of the blue cage, but we just couldn't pull it off.
Yes. We tried.
So the thought was there, and I'm sorry to disappoint, but this is going to be a really good cage match, I feel, because we're going to kill those guys. And they want to kill us. So it's going to be interesting.
It turns out making a blue cage is really tough with the tariffs.
Solid point. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
How are you gonna make it with blue spray paint?
Well, spray paint. Yeah, I mean that was the. I actually had a chance at one point to touch the blue cage with my bare hands, and it was every bit of actual hard steel. So I can't imagine being thrown into that thing. It was very unforgiving. So, no, thank you.
That's true. Yeah, it's very stiff, but the idea is there for nostalgia. We want it really bad, but we couldn't pull it off. So we're sorry, but we're gonna make up for it by having the best steel cage in the Civic Center history.
Well, I mean, the other one that piqued my interest is you have the national title that is going to be unveiled and, of course, and fought for. This match. Can you go over the participants? I don't have it right in front of me, but when I saw, I think I saw Enzo was in it, a real one.
Yep.
And then who else is with Enzo?
We have El Jaguar, Dante Casanova, Ben Bishop, and the good doctor Landon Hale. So fatal four-way for the brand new, beautiful national championship. It is one of the nicest belts. It is definitely like a prize to win that. So, and then these four guys, I can't think of a better mixture of athleticism and taking chances than these four. Ben Bishop has had our eye for a very long time. We've been very into his online and like his video stuff that he posts, and his interaction with people is top notch. You know, he's not afraid to share his thoughts on things and actually like interact with people and be creative. And that really caught our eye. I mean, Hale and I have been talking about him for at least a year at this point. When we did the first ACW show, we tried to get him there, but it just didn't work. So when we were sure that we were going to do Aftershock, he was the first person that we reached out to. So we didn't even know what we were going to do with him at first. So the fact that he fits perfectly into this fatal four-way. And then El Jaguar, Dante Casanova, is the NWA Midwest champion. And he has just been on fire since January 4th. He's been doing amazing at NWA Exodus up in Cleveland and traveling around the country. We saw him booked at different places. He's even booked at ISPW down in Jersey, a place that all the time. So he's doing really well for himself. And Landon Hale, he's been somebody that we've had our eye on for a really long time. We've never seen him have a bad match. So placing him in this opportunity seemed pretty perfect. And then when you look at what Enzo Real One brings to the table, he's on fire on the mic. In the ring, he delivered big time at the last show. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. He's very unpredictable in the ring and out of the ring. So this is going to be a pretty crazy fatal four-way in my.
And also, the one thing I was looking as I'm looking at the card, you have the new women's title, which is amazing, especially with the 6 women that you guys have booked for this match. It looks like, I think, for people that maybe not are unknown to a lot of the names, obviously in the Northeast, you have, I mean, it used to be Vicious Vicky Venuto. She's amazing. I think she's come a long way over the past couple of years watching her. I've seen her at ISPW and stuff. She's great. You have an Indy Hartwell, who obviously fresh off WWE. Some of these girls that people may not know, I mean, can you update people and kind of introduce who they are?
Well, it's a lot of fun, like a lot of like people that used to go to like the MJN Center and stuff like that. Like they always like rely on like names, like just got off TV names, and that's what they would do. But like what we're trying to do is establish an environment of just awesome wrestling, you know. And so we're trying to like mix it up with like different people, like different styles, but so like both those matches we guys just mentioned, is there's so many different styles. Like some people have been around for like Tina has been around since 2006, you know.
Tina San Antonio.
What?
Tina San Antonio.
Yeah, she's been around forever, and like it's cool that she's really taken off right now. So like, yeah, a lot of like people that are like on the verge of going somewhere bigger than what they're doing now. Like they're on the verge. It's cool that we got a hold of a lot of people that are just about to do that, and they're going to put on a great show. And we're it's going to be good.
Yeah, and that 6-pack challenge, we have Kelly Madden, who was on our first show, and Tiara James. They had a heck of a match. Damian Adams, who's well known at this point for training really high quality female professional wrestlers, and Kelly Madden and Tiara James are two of his top students, and Vicious Vicky Venuto at the last show inserted herself into that match, and she has this presence about her where she wants all of the attention. So it only seemed fitting to add her into the mix here. And then Tina San Antonio is another independent wrestler that we had seen along our way in Jersey and in the Northeast. And we were really adamant about making sure she was going to get an opportunity with us. And Rebecca Scott. And Rebecca Scott is one of those girls who, when we see her wrestle, she's like unbelievably impressive. So I can't believe that she hasn't been on a bigger stage yet. And we're super excited to like put her out there on this stage, because I think when people see what she's capable of in the ring, they're going to be super impressed. And she's the dark horse to win the match, in my opinion. So that says a lot about what we think about her skills. And then Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell, fresh off the WWE run, she was paired a lot with Johnny Gargano, and her name just went out of my head.
Candice
LeRae, yes. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we've even been able to scratch the surface of what Indy Hartwell is capable of. So I know she spent a lot of time down at Addie Neidhart School. I know that she has done a really great job getting herself to the position where she's going to be a standout on the independents. And it's a real pick'em for who's going to win this match. So seeing how Richard Holiday has carried himself as the ACW champion really sets the precedent for our champions. And I think whoever walks out of this match is going to be very deserving of being the ACW women's champion, the very first one. And it's also a big deal because in this area, there hasn't been a Hudson Valley women's champion.
Never.
So never been anybody crowned as a local women's champion. And to have somebody crowned as the first women's champion in this area and be at the MJN Center is a really big opportunity. So I'm very excited about it.
And also, like, I feel like this is the first women's match there's like 6 women in the match, and I don't think in, I would say, 20 years that many women have been involved in a match like this. Like, I think it's like the first, might be the first time. I don't really know the history with it. It has to be. We did one research. It was like 15 years ago. I think it was like a title was fought against with a woman, but like we're really trying to like put the women division on the map here, and in Hudson Valley. So it's cool. Like I think we got like the best of the best in this match. There are 100% in this area.
Well, and that's the thing. I think the best thing about ACW, I mean, and even at the first show in January, is you guys mix it up a lot. Like whether, like you said, you have the talent that other promotions are trying to bring in fresh off WWE and build, or aging legends that may be back and forth that you can try and book. But you guys are using the young people that are from the area, trying to get them exposure on their way up. And then you also have the other side of it, to where you have guys that are on the indie scene or on other companies, like a Moose and a Mike Santana, with Moose being the X Division champ, and that matchup, which you talk about a Moose being one of the most recognizable names for TNA in recent history. I mean, he's been TNA for a while now and is the guy. And Mike Santana coming off obviously LAX on the Indies, and then both them going to
TNA.
AEW. SNT, thank you. And then AEW and them splitting Ortiz and Santana. Now Santana on his own trying to make a name as the singles guy and make his name. That matchup, Moose and Santana, could be crazy.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be, that has the option to be the match stealer, the show stealer too, because both those guys have a little bit of something that they feel like they want to prove. And in talking with both of them, I know that they feel like this is a really great opportunity to showcase like the best of their personas. Moose, I think we all got to see a lot of what he's really capable of in that NXT match against Obafemi. I think that was a really great showcase for Moose, where he had an opportunity to really show his personality and show what he was capable of athletically. I mean, he really hung in there with Obafemi, and at times you didn't know who was going to win that match. And then to be at Madison Square Garden, Paramount Theater, and all that good stuff, like he did not buckle under that pressure. So some people buckle under pressure, other people rise to it. And I think Moose is one of those guys that has risen to being in pressure situations. And Mike Santana, I've been a big proponent of him. I've been pushing for him for a long time for us to bring in. And I had an opportunity to train with him one time a couple of years ago, and I was blown away by his style of training, his conditioning, and his acumen for pro wrestling. He was, far and away one of the best guys that I'd been in the ring with. And it was just a training session, nothing like real super serious, but I was just blown away by him. And then to see what his career has evolved into, and following a little bit of his personal journey, I think that he is a standout top level pro, and we're going to see some really great things from him over the next few years. And we're lucky enough that we get these guys on our show right now, and we've got them locked in. So hopefully they stick with us for a while. That's the goal here. So I don't know who would come out on top in this match. It's really going to be very, very, very interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, and I think we can switch a little bit, going from two guys that wrestled in TNA to a guy who's now contracted and still contracted, and the champion of TNA, showing up this weekend. Well, a surprise this weekend for WrestleMania last night 2. I don't know how many, if anybody, would have thought that Randy Orton's opponent was going to be Joe Hendry. I mean, I know it was probably, we watched both nights together, and it was the biggest pop. It popped us huge watching that. We screamed at the top of our, we were so happy that music hit, and to see him turn around, it was great. And I'm so glad that WWE could deliver some kind of surprise like that, because Becky was kind of one of the worst kept surprises. I think everyone assumed that. But a guy like Joe Hendry getting that spot on Mania against Orton for Orton's 20th Mania, like that was
Orton
huge.
hit a fucking RKO in the pose.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That was the best. Like they like sold the gimmick very well.
Yeah, they have. Man, that the look on his face when he spun around.
Yeah.
Dude, that was very genuine happiness. I feel like, that guy has had quite the year, from a Royal Rumble appearance to getting a chance to wrestle at WrestleMania. I mean, Hale texted me as it was happening. I was like, "Can you believe this is happening?" I really couldn't.
I wish it went a little longer, like just like a tad long, like 2 minutes longer than it did. Because I feel like Joe Hendry really got the crowd like behind him right there, and then I think it could have been a tad longer, but because he really got the crowd big time.
Yeah, he had him going like this. He had him fucking doing the fucking good for him. Let's just put it like good for him.
I thought it was great, and I hate when people say like, oh well, they didn't use him right, whatever. They just put like the casual fan that didn't, like, some people still don't know what TNA is, believe it or not, So now the whole world knows what TNA is.
Yep.
If they just Google or just put the TNA brand on the map, like huge, So it's, and when it did so many things for him, it was a really good decision on both those brands, man. Like, because now everyone is talking about Joe Hendry. Everybody's wondering, like, oh wait, what's this TNA thing? And now the casual fan now knows what TNA is.
They're gonna see Joe Hendry. I'm gonna link this all up for you, okay? See Joe Hendry, recognize what TNA is. They're gonna then find TNA, and then they will also find Moose, who will work his way into the ACW Aftershock live show, Poughkeepsie, New York. Amazing fucking. I don't say this about New York fucking venues ever, about anyone I've been to, but this surprisingly was very unique, and it was like very like welcoming. Like the setup was like almost like a weird like sports arena type. Like you go watch a basketball game or something like that. There's like it's just the way that you see it is great.
Very well delivered, Joe. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you
All right, back to you, Larry.
Thank you for translating my brain.
In the same thought pattern and all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm like do like a weird kind of sign language so Joe like can just translate what I'm trying to get my point across.
You got ESPN, like, I'll read your mind.
He's of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Was that 6 degrees of separation? Was it?
What Joe says is exactly what I meant to say.
We're live. Bring us back in. Come on.
Well, I do want to ask you guys a question as professional wrestlers and being in the business as long as you have. And of course, now with being a promoter, the ending of night 2, which everyone is talking about, whether the majority actually hated it. But the thing is, I had today off, so I was catching a lot of the Pat McAfee show and a lot of the recaps, and I was scrolling online a lot and seeing a lot of reaction to a lot of what happened last night. And I think it kind of hit me as I was watching it, like, I get it, because even us together, when it was over, we said, man, that was kind of underwhelming.
It felt flat.
Yeah, and that's how it felt. And then it kind of hit me as well. I'm like, yeah, but look, for everybody who watched WrestleMania, I mean, you guys had ACW had that watch party on Saturday night. And then if not on Sunday, you're watching it with your family and everyone's together. You're watching it with friends. Like, I think people are so critical, are losing the fact that your pro wrestling is gathering you around to hang out, to have fun, to enjoy, to be entertained. And people get really hypersensitive, and I get being into it and being passionate about it. But something like this shouldn't anger people. I saw LaGreca's rant this morning. That guy's going to have a fucking heart attack. Like, I mean, I know that's his gimmick and all that, and that's what he does.
He got so ready when cross-eyed.
Yeah, but like, and there has to be a point to where life is more important than pro wrestling, unless pro wrestling is your life. But like, it's just, I wish people wouldn't take this and get so angry about it. Like, granted, it was a great show up probably until Travis Scott music hit. And then you had the ending and it was underwhelming. People expected The Rock and wanted all the surprises we had from WrestleMania 40. But they weren't going to do that 2 years in a row. It's ebbs and flows. They're going to not send everybody home happy and make dreams come true 2 WrestleMania main events in a row. Like with you guys, when you're looking at that, obviously you're booking shows now. This is your second one you're booking coming up in May. Is that, I don't want to say the right call, but is that something that you looked at and you can look at it with an eye and go, all right, I can see why, or no, I don't like that at all. I don't get it.
The only thing I can think of, because, like, there's always a reason why they do things that we might not know why they do them.
Yeah.
Like later on, and then I don't want to be like, oh, well, The only thing I can think of as a fan watching it is maybe Travis Scott should have ran. Like just ran so sped up the.
That's what I said.
So because like the match was there with emotionally when the music hit. If he just ran, it would have still captivated the emotion at that moment and would have flatlined a little bit. So but I don't know. Maybe they did it for a reason. I don't really know. But by looking at it, I was like, yo, why does he just run? It's almost like when Jeff Hardy like danced trying to save his brother.
Save Matt. He just danced on the stage.
Well, like when he got in the ring at Elimination Chamber, Travis Scott did not show any fear. I mean, he straight up smacked Cody Rhodes right upside the head. He didn't act like he was afraid of any of it. So for him to run wouldn't have been with like what the bravado of his character has been. He has given the impression that he doesn't really recognize that he's not fit for this world, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that the Crossroads was a great way to welcome him to pro wrestling. He took it like a champ.
It was cool when Cody was like, "You punched me in my face. Now
Yeah.
here I am," kind of deal.
Yeah. He two things. One, I don't know if Cody's level of like being upset was on what it should have been for like how he got treated at the Elimination Chamber. Like he should have, like, in my opinion, wanted to like kick Cena's ass and not be settling for just having like a wrestling match. It should have been a little bit more like fight all the way around the ring for a little while, but like they got really down to the meat and potatoes of like heat from Cena and beating up on Cody for a long time, and then like 1,000 attitude adjustments and all of this other stuff. But I think watching it with a 40,000 foot view, I feel that the whole point of it was to get the belt onto Cena. That was the point. So the rest of it didn't matter so much as having Cena on ESPN today, having Cena with all the headlines where he did after the show press conference where he wouldn't take any questions and said everything was clickbait. And there's only a short amount of time where you're getting John Cena. So if you're going to get a heel John Cena, what does a heel champion John Cena look like? We've never seen that before. So I don't think, it's not going to last forever. They're going to have to go in some general direction with what they do with his character. So him saying he's going to ruin pro wrestling, what does that mean? What is that like? What is that going to entail? There's a lot of good out of it. So as much as fans were pissed off that they didn't get what they wanted, the point of wrestling is that a lot of times you don't know what you want until you see it. So now you get to start creating these different ideas and stories in your head for how it actually turned out. And just because it didn't turn out how you thought it was going to turn out doesn't necessarily make it bad.
I think people just have forgotten there's a Raw after Mania that's usually pretty fucking good. So, like, don't get upset. Just be patient to the next day when they're going to deliver yet again another 2+ hours of fucking wrestling for you. And the stories that you saw that night are probably going to have something to do with the night after. And something might happen. And you might like it. You might be like, oh my God, they do know what they're doing.
Let's watch the show.
Just fucking watch it. I mean, I didn't like the pacing of the match. That's the only thing I didn't like because it felt like it wasn't exciting. Like they wore us the fuck out with every match leading up to that for the most part, with like delivering high speed, high octane, everything, false finishes out the ass everywhere to everyone's finish multiple times, fucking steel stairs, tables, everything. They gave us a shit ton of stuff. That was just, I think it wore me out. I think that the pacing of that match, I was worn out from, because it was the best Mania I've seen in a while when it came to like match pacing and storytelling and like just fucking like Dom winning the fucking, and the crowd absolutely.
Like Dom's frog splash onto the cover, that was like so well put. Like usually, like I've seen that before. It was never that good of when he did that. Like people do it and like kind of like he did it and he covered the guy like right there. Like
he sandwiched Finn. It's usually you jump and you're landing on 2 sets of legs. He didn't hit the legs at all. He hit who he's aiming for.
It was perfect. Like it couldn't be any more perfect. And like the timing of it was just amazing.
Yeah. They had some solid camera angles, and like even doubling back to the Joe Hendry, like Hendry's face didn't change until Randy's arms were wrapped around his neck. That's how perfectly that was delivered. And I watched it several times. I was like, this man didn't break character or look in Randy's direction. he stayed in that fucking stupid smile until his arms were like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Randy hit the pose afterwards, which was awesome.
Yeah, I love little details and I love shit like that, like quirky little things, like because Randy's synonymous for being goofy with the fucking fans too, on his later end.
Yep.
And then he looks like he's having fun. I like seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah, they even like gave him a tap after he beat him. Like, good job, kid.
Yeah, he's like, it's not too bad. I do like this pose thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be a GIF that flies around forever.
Absolutely.
You know, Randy spinning around and hitting the pose like that. It's going to be awesome. So I think the match of the night was the women's match. It was absolutely incredible way to start the show. Like it was it was paced so perfectly. Everybody shined. Everybody looked awesome. Everybody, Rhea is in amazing shape. Bianca is in ridiculous shape. Io Sky stands out like no Japanese female wrestler that I've ever seen before. I think that she's probably like really the top of the line as far as that goes. And to retain her title at WrestleMania really gives the WWE stamp of approval on her. I can't think of a title change that's happened so close to Mania, like the women's title, where it changed hands like just 3-4 weeks ago. And then for her to retain and stuff, like they clearly have a lot of plans for her. Bianca and Rhea could have their own story. They don't need the belt. I thought everybody just came out of it perfect. It was really well done. And I really enjoyed Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. I thought that was really physical. Both guys looked legit. It was brutal. The finish was awesome. The kick through his head into the chair was just like awesome. And Drew really needed that win, to be honest. I loved it. I thought that was great. Definitely the women's match was a show stealer for me. There's a lot. Like, did you guys do a recap show for night one?
We did not.
No, we didn't do we don't normally do them right afterwards. We're usually like a day or two later when we digest it and we can actually. I don't like doing things in the moment.
Okay, yeah. Don't live in the now. Why would you want to do that?
No, I mean, like after a wrestling event, I'm tired of shit. I'm probably not going to come off too fucking good.
He's tired enough at 8:00 on a Monday night, let alone 11:00 on a Saturday or Sunday. So
Saturday, not so much.
Yeah.
Sunday, I just dread the next morning. 4:00 comes fucking quick. I just dread it.
I hear you. I thought I definitely thought night 2 was better than night 1.
Agreed.
And, but I really enjoyed the finish of night 1. The Paul Heyman turn was just really well done. Layers and layers upon story there. Where it goes from here, I can't wait to watch. It was really well done. It was my favorite part of night 1 for sure.
By a mile.
Mm-hmm.
A long, long mile. That was, it's almost like you get, and I said this yesterday before the show started, or after the show had like started already. I was like, so night 1 gave you a bunch of stuff and then amazingness at the end. And then the flip side was night 2 gave you amazingness and they kind of shit the bed on the end. So you put them together, it's a pretty good fucking.
It is a pretty
good 2 nights.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's a lot of wrestling, that's for sure. But, when you look at how packed that stadium was 2 days in a row, it's really hard to argue against having a 2-night WrestleMania because 60,000 people, no matter how you cut it, two nights in a row is incredible business. And the amount of merchandise, the amount of concessions, the amount of just the live gate, like WWE is rocking on all cylinders right now. It's pretty incredible. So it's something right now where professional wrestling is on the WWE level. And, they were really panning the fact that they had acquired AAA. And where that goes from here, man, like that's going to be crazy. And it seems that WWE could be entering into an acquiring phase right now where they're doing what they did to the territories just on a much more major level right now, where they are going to be what, when you think of professional wrestling, you think of WWE product. So whether it be NXT, AAA, there's rumors about New Japan. They've already had their hands in the British wrestling scene.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where it goes from here. It's pretty crazy.
It almost sounds like that they almost are 100% in a deal with maybe the largest streaming app in the world, and they might need 5 or 6 days worth of content to create a channel themselves on Netflix, where you just click WWE 5 nights a week and you get Lucha Libre, you get fucking the up and coming talent of NXT, then you get Raw, you get SmackDown, you get a Saturday night main event on there. I mean, it's almost like they're fucking gearing up for just a massive takeover on fucking Netflix.
And it's cool because you don't know who's going to show up.
I would love that. That would be good.
You have all these companies like collide, like all come together, and like they own each one of them, but keep them separate. Not like when they got ECW, kind of made it like a WWE ECW, So like if they keep them separate and keep them their own identity and just let them do what they do, but they just own it and built it up, like fund it and just make it better than what it is. It could be really cool, like with surprises and angles, and it'd be awesome for like just entertainment wise. Like man, like Alberto Del Rio could just show up.
Oh man, that's a heat magnet,
right? I know, but isn't he with AAA?
Yes. Yeah. He's contracted for AAA, and actually now contracted by WWE.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like it's weird now, right? It's like so
it is kind of exciting. It does bring you back to like your heyday when because it takes a lot to surprise wrestling fans now. Like it does.
Yeah, it's endless now. Like it's like we're gonna see some cool stuff in the future.
At New Japan, like The Rock wearing that New Japan shirt last week wasn't just by accident, and it's sitting in front of a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
And you think about let's for example, the Young Bucks were the New Japan Tag Team Champions just a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten a lot of their talent from New Japan. A lot of people that they've brought over, like the Bullet Club stuff, and they've had a lot of guys that have come in from New Japan into AEW. So if WWE takes that away, it's another place where like, where's AEW going to get these talents from? They're going to have to go to the indies. They're going to have to look towards places where there's not signed talent. And I don't think AEW is going to go away. And I also don't think they're going to just like shrivel up and die because WWE is purchasing all of these other companies. There's CMLL down in Mexico is still doing really well, and they're providing pretty high quality content. I watch our buddy Flip Gordon all the time down there, and he's kicking major ass. And there's a lot of pro wrestling out there, and it's just a crazy time to be involved in this business on all sides of it. I can't imagine the WWE payroll department, or excuse me, the TKO payroll department. It must be insane. Like how those people all get paid every week must just be like a crazy process.
It's probably done by ChatGPT.
AI payroll?
Yeah, I mean you got a
I don't think I can advocate for that, sir.
I mean, you don't have to. You're not on the payroll.
You're right. Thanks for.
So we'll finish up with a couple more matches of ACW we have to talk about. One, I think maybe if just a normal fan who's buying a ticket for the first time for ACW might not know about Leo Sparrow, who is ridiculous if they haven't seen him live. He's amazing. And I know, Vic, you said it in the show before. You guys signed and booked this Irish wrestler who I know you were talking about a little bit. You want to bring everyone up to speed. I don't want to butcher his name because I'm not going to pronounce it right. So I'll let you.
Let me give it a whirl. Hold on. Yamo.
He's Irish.
Oh,
Not Spanish.
Liamo.
Liamo. Oh, it's a hard L.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's Liamo.
Okay.
Okay. That wasn't that bad. I was close.
I haven't corrected, so I'm assuming it's Liamo. But he is a student of one Finn Balor.
Oh,
so
okay.
That is who trained him, and that is who, he put a stamp of approval on him. And then he's already done one trip to the U.S. before, where he's trained at a couple different schools and been to some different shows. And I think it was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, something like that. But we took the opportunity to feature him. We wanted to put him on our event because from what we've seen from him, the future is going to be pretty bright. And we wanted to be known as one of the places that gave him a shot really early on. So that's one of the things that Hale's been pretty adamant about, having some talent that aren't necessarily known on a national level and bringing them in and giving them a shot. And this is one of those guys. So it's one of the things that we've enjoyed about pro wrestling, is that like ECW or even Ring of Honor back in the day would have a guy and you'd be like, who is this guy? And then he would just like knock your socks off and press you. Like the first time I ever saw Tajiri, I was like, whoa, dude, this guy's amazing. Or super crazy, stuff like that. Like, it's cool to be able to be in a position with ACW to give guys like that an opportunity. And Leo Sparrow, as his opponent, has been somebody that we've wrestled and known for a couple years now. And I've also never seen him have a bad match. He's an excellent good guy and a really excellent bad guy.
Plus, his performance in the Rumble was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he took advantage of every situation he could have to make it his own, and just we were saying, like, guys, listen, I know everybody wants more than a Rumble. I know everybody wants their one-on-one matches, their tag matches. We all know you want your time to shine, but this is what we have for you at the moment. Just make the best of it. Go out there, just show your face, and just try to take advantage of every single opportunity that comes your way. And Leo Sparrow is definitely one of those guys, and Landon Hale also, that really took advantage of the situation. Like, Leo Sparrow was getting hurt by everybody, and he made something great what he had for him.
Mm-hmm.
So we really wanted to find a spot for him, and it got down to the wire, and then we're like, let's just give these two guys their time. Let's see what they got. Let's see. They both could deliver on a high level. Let's see if they can just make magic together. And let's see. I'm a big advocate for that.
This is a first time matchup.
Yeah, and I'm huge on that. Let's give people something they don't know that they're gonna love.
Yep.
And I feel like those two guys are going to give that to the people. The people are be like, "Who's this guy? Who's this guy?" And
we felt that way about Dante Casanova at the last show too, and look at where he's got since then. Like it's just like more exposure, and like I'm sure we're not the only promoters and people that have felt that way about someone like Dante Casanova, but on a bigger scale, not a lot of people knew who he was. So I was very impressed with him at the last show, and now he's in a national title match on this one, and he's been wrestling all over the country. So it's really cool to be able to give people that kind of opportunity with ACW.
So final one we'll talk about is obviously the title match, the title. Richard Holiday, your champion, breathing rarefied air, versus the indie god Matt Cardona. I mean, I think as a matchup, I've already seen them jarring back and forth on social media, which is pretty cool to see, watching them go back and forth. And because both of them are pretty damn good at what they do on social media and talking. So that's a cool build. And I don't think this match is going to disappoint by any means.
Richard Holiday, man, we're so happy. Like he's the guy representing the ACW. heavyweight title. He's probably one of the best guys that's never been signed by, WWE or TNA or anything like that. I know he did MLW, but like he's top notch. Like Richard Holiday could go with anybody, and I'm very happy that we're able to give him a match where he can 100% prove that he belongs. And Matt Cardona is a guy that can 100% be in the ring with him and be like, all right, well, let's go. And it's going to be very awesome to see Richard Holiday in the ring with someone like Matt Cardona. I'm really very curious how it goes down, and I think he's going to hold his own. And I think he's going to. We'll see what happens, but I think he's going to surprise Matt Cardona how good he is.
They actually they don't like him. And like that is something about this match that really brings like another level to it, is that they really like Matt Cardona does not respect Richard Holiday, and Richard Holiday is demanding respect from Matt Cardona. So these promos and these back and forths that you see is all based on the fact that they don't like each other. And Matt Cardona has already established himself as like a really dominant presence on the independent scene. He's a former Intercontinental Champion, former star in all of the companies. He's wrestled for everybody. He doesn't have, he's one of those guys who doesn't have a lot to prove other than the fact that he's a belt collector. So like he sees a big shiny belt and he wants it. And Richard Holiday feels like he has everything in the world to prove. He is the ACW champion, yes, but he feels like he's got to go out there and beat the respect into Matt Cardona. So how this one turns out is going to be crazy, because both guys just bring a lot to the table. And I'm as a promoter of ACW, an owner, I would be happy as anything to have both of these guys representing us as champion, because one comes with this national attention to it, and the other one is a workhorse who is wrestling in every top independent company in the United States right now.
Every week.
Yeah,
there's 5 days a week.
Yeah, there's not a show that goes on that I don't see Richard Holiday promoted on there, whether it no matter what aspect he's in. So he just, GCW and Fourth Rope and Reality of Wrestling, and he's in all of them, doing all of the things, and he's earning it right now and proving that he's one of the best. So how this one's going to turn out is going to be something that you have to be there live in Poughkeepsie to see. But it is every bit deserving of being a main event level match, in my opinion. It is, and I have no doubt it's going to deliver.
Yeah. I said it better myself. Like I think Cardona is going to be very shocked how good Richard Holiday really is.
All right, well, May 17th at the MJN Center, Poughkeepsie, New York. Tickets at thisisacw.com. We cannot wait. I mean, it feels like this is actually a longer period of time before we knew what the January one, and I know it's not, but it feels that way.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see it, guys. It's, again, we thought the first one was good. Aftershock looks even better, if that's even possible. All the matches look stacked. Like I said, the variety is insane. Anyone in the tri-state area, if you can get to Poughkeepsie, get your tickets, because you're not going to want to miss this show. Packed house at 1,500 people last time. I'm sure you guys are going to try and fit as many more as you can over that if you can. So, thanks, guys. It was great talking to you guys, as always, and we'll be talking to you very soon.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, my man. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys very much for all that you do for ACW. You're two of the biggest advocates for what we have going on. We're very proud to have you as like one of our top podcasts. And we always say yes to interviews with you guys because you're the best. We genuinely love you and appreciate everything that you've done for us. And we can't wait to show you what we've got in store for you on May 17th. The part of after the January show, when we got to sit and talk about how the show went, was one of my favorite things, because there was just so much to talk about, and you guys were just so excited by like what we did and the time that you had there and stuff like that. And I'm really excited for that interview we have afterwards when you see what we have in store for you. So it's our job.
Vic, don't forget, we didn't touch on one thing. There could be some mystery guys, maybe.
Yep, and some surprises. So
yeah,
that's always our favorite thing, is to like see if we can surprise everybody with something that they didn't see coming. And I'm just very excited for how it's going to turn out. So as much as it's like really hard to put this all together and how it can be a little bit stressful and hard on us, it is completely worth it when we see the final product. So and I just got to wrap my head around being inside a steel cage. So that's so. But thank you guys very much for all you've done for us. We really appreciate it.
Anytime. So thanks, everyone. And if anyone has realized, it is after WrestleMania, but we said back in September, October, we weren't going to be doing this show anymore. And after WrestleMania 41, you couldn't see us. But we're
about to ruin wrestling. Yeah,
we kind of had a couple people talk to us, one of them being Drew Gulak, and he kind of convinced us and had us see it a different way. So thanks to him, I think we're going to be sticking around for a while. When will we end? We don't know, but we are not going anywhere. We kind of made that decision.
You guys are on fire right now.
Well, we appreciate you thinking that. But I mean, we'll be around. So yeah. And there will be obviously an after show for ACW and the after pod, because we'll be around for a while. So thank you. And everyone who reached out when we announced it and saying, don't go. We hope you don't go. And so thank you for people who actually cared. And for those who didn't, we're going to be around anyway. So you can check out what it is. So thank you for watching, listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. We will be talking to you next week. Don't take any shit from anybody. See you guys.